viewers, I want to move on because this is a very, very important story. And it cannot be tonight drowned in party politics. This is about, viewers, communal harmony in our country, intra-faith relations. Remember the alleged, quote, grooming jihad, unquote, scandal that erupted recently in United Kingdom. Well, viewers, a similar case may have come to light in India. Now, you see those people on the extreme right of your screens, viewers? Some of those individuals were the ones who were pulled up in the United Kingdom for grooming young girls, minor girls, and sexually exploiting them. A large number of them were from Pakistan and Pakistani origin. And viewers, there was a huge outpouring of anger and rage in the United Kingdom because the mechanisms of the state had suppressed this, had gone to great lengths, allegedly, to suppress it. And now that it is coming out there, it is shocking people. Well, viewers, similar cases have been coming out here in India. Now, I am not a believer in love jihad and grooming jihad, but it's becoming impossible now to ignore the rising tide of cases. I hate to be one of those doubting my own self. But nonetheless, viewers, Rajasthan has been swept up in communal tension with a growing web of charges leading to the arrest of 11 members of the Muslim community for allegedly exploiting Hindu girls. On February 16, the family of the two girls filed an FIR accusing two Muslim youth of sexually exploiting the girls. Viewers, this is very, very, very difficult to put across to you. And then, viewers, there was an attempt to convert them after exploiting them. Later, families of 3 more minor girls in the same locality filed similar FIRs, naming 3 other youth. As per the families of the girls, the accused would waylay them on their way back from school, and it is at certain cafes on that route where these people would take these minor girls. There they would entrap them, they would get them to surrender their confidence. And the families say that the girls were photographed at the cafes and later blackmailed. Now, for a while, the minor girls' viewers were petrified. Allegedly, this is what the FIR states, were allegedly petrified. They didn't want to tell anybody because this meant fraternizing with boys in a very conservative society. They didn't want to be the cause of any alarm. But viewers, what happened was that the blackmailing got to the point where it could not be ignored. The matter came to the forefront when the parents of one of the minor girls were found that their daughter was using a phone that they had not given her, that she had mysteriously acquired. When confronted about who they were talking to, the minor girl broke down and revealed to her family that she was being blackmailed. The FIR filed by the police suggests that 12 to 15 people are behind the conspiracy to allegedly sexually exploit the girls. 8 accused have been arrested. Now, what we're getting to know from the FIR and from police is that a gang of 12 to 15 people are behind this. That's what is being apprehended. 8 accused have been arrested, 2 minors were taken into custody, 5 accused are friends, some accused residents of the same society involved in welding, painting, furniture work. Not a single accused studies in school. So they were either dropouts or never went to school. Victims also stay in the same society. So it is all happening in a very close-knit Hindu-Muslim mixed neighborhood, viewers. The accused have spoken about the charges. Viewers, listen.
आप क्या करते हो?
मैं वेल्डिंग का काम करता हूँ।
वेल्डिंग का करते हो। कितने टाइम से घूमे हो बच्चियों के साथ?
सर मैं 20-25 दिन हो ज़्यादा दिन में। अभी से बोलो।
क्या नाम आपका?
मेरा मोहम्मद लुकमान।
अब हैं? लुकमान लग रहा है कि गलत किया आप लोगों ने?
बहुत गलत।
फिर?
बहुत ज़्यादा गलत किया।
फिर अब?
ये हम लोग का भी होता ही है ना, कभी
गलती मान रहे हो? सोहेल, कितने टाइम से दोस्ती बच्चियों से? सितंबर से। कहाँ कहाँ लेके गए? स्टाइडेड। ये क्या है?
वो है रेस्टोरेंट।
बच्चियों ने मना नहीं किया कभी? अच्छा, मोबाइल वगैरह कैसे देते थे, क्या करते थे? कीपैड मोबाइल दिया ना आप लोगों ने? हाँ,
वो दोस्त से मंगा के दिया था।
दोस्त ने। तो आप लिए खर्चा नहीं किया?
नहीं, खर्च करा नहीं।
कितने रुपए?
1200
रुपए।
So viewers, you heard that. What were full-grown men doing with minor girls? They've admitted, at least on camera. Now I don't know, viewers, if this is under coercion or not, but they've admitted on camera that look, they've committed a mistake. The victims recounted a chilling version of events, talking about predatory behavior, serial blackmail, grooming of other minor girls for large sums of money. Listen, viewers.
हाँ, मुझे बोला है कि ने क्या बुर्खा पहनना है तो पहनना ही है, और 5 नमाज होती है पूरे दिन भर में, तो नमाज का मेरे को सिखाया, और मेरे को उसके रोज़े के लिए बोला, अगले महीने में रोज़े है 14 को और 27 को मेन रोज़े, कैसे करने कैसे नहीं करने, ये सब रोज़े के बारे में उन्हें बताया। मुझे धमकियाँ भी देता था और मेरे चीरे भी लगाए।
Now viewers, another one of the victims came out and said that the accused made friendship by hiding their religion. They were stopped on the way to school and forced to befriend some of these boys and men, taken to restaurants, blackmailed with obscene photos, etc., threatened and intimidated to make friends with her other friends. Trapping a Brahmin girl would give 20 lakhs. They were given incentives. So this sort of scheme was hatched. One girl compromised would then recruit other girls, etc., etc. And this is very reminiscent, viewers, of what happened in Ajmer. So this was systemized indoctrination that they talked about. The police have also spoken on record. Listen in, viewers.
छोटा चाइनीज मोबाइल है वो दे के और बरगला के उस हिसाब से झांसे में लेते हैं।
तो कितने वक्त से ये हो रहा था?
ये अभी 2-3 महीने से ही जानकारी आई, सितंबर अक्टूबर से ही जानकारी में आया है, देख शोषण किया है। तो अनुसंधान,
और ये चेन चल रही थी, एक से दूसरे को भेजा जा रहा था।
4-5 आरोपी में नाम आए हैं उसमें, तो तभी तो 10 आरोपी अभी तक अरेस्ट कर चुके।
10 accused have been arrested. There was a chain relay sort of system, so clearly organized, the police believe. The story that has prompted comparisons with the sordid alleged to what was called grooming jihad in Ajmer in 1992 has not just captured the headlines but also rocked the Rajasthan State Assembly. Viewers, BJP leaders have been coming out and demanding justice now.
वहां से प्राप्त सूचनाओं के अनुसार उस कथित सरगना के कांग्रेस से संबंध है, कांग्रेस के नेताओं से संबंध है। स्थानीय जनता,
समाप्त कीजिए,
एक वाक्य है केवल। स्थानीय जनता पूरी तरह से संतुष्ट नहीं है सभापति महोदय, अभी वह न्याय चाहती है। 12 लोगों के नाम एफआईआर में दर्ज हैं और 15 अन्य लोगों को अभियुक्त बनाया गया है। 27 अपराधियों के चेहरे सामने हैं। इस संगठित लव जिहाद गिरोह को अभियान चलाकर ध्वस्त किए जाने की आवश्यकता है। मैं माननीय सभापति महोदय आपके माध्यम से सदन से यह निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि इसी तरह की घटनाओं ने पाकिस्तान बनाया। हम कांग्रेस की सहपर मिनी पाकिस्तान।
Viewers, protest, of course, all of that is rhetoric, viewers, but the main fact is that protests have broken out in the town where the alleged sexual exploitation was carried out. You have parents and you have locals that are protesting. Hindu groups have joined in. Many people are also saying that there is an attempt to polarize, but on the back of what the police has said, suspecting a larger conspiracy not very different from the mass grooming of minors in the United Kingdom by gangs of predators, this story assumes a massive scale, viewers. And I want to open this up because the alleged claims and counterclaims all prompt questions. Has secular ecosystem silence over the Ajmer sexual exploitation scandal emboldened predators just like in Britain? And I want to bring in Ishkan Bhandari. I want to bring in Subhrashtra first. Ishkan Bhandari, what do you make of this, first of all? I was very skeptical of believing that there are something called love jihad or grooming gangs in India, etc. But a lot of instances now coming to the fore.
Rahul, firstly, the foremost thing is we do not have to be politically correct, because girls, Hindu girls of all ages, including minor girls, need protection. Unless you identify the evil, law cannot tackle it. So while it might be politically correct to say there is nothing like love jihad, there are various experiences coming out, and including in the latest case from Rajasthan, where the term love jihad is probably the appropriate term. Similarly, the same problem happened in Britain, where men who were doing it, they were not being policed, they were not being jailed, because they felt it would lead to community clashes, or that could be having a religious backlash. And also the name used to be given was Asian men. They were not Asian men, they were overwhelmingly of Pakistani origin in Britain who were doing it, belonging to a specific religion. So political correctness cannot be at the cost of lives of young and reputation and well-being of young girls. Similarly in India, it's not the first time. And one needs to compliment the Home Ministry. They have brought the new BNS Act. Section 69 clearly says if you hide your identification, that is an offense. It was in a section dealing with deceitful means of indulging into physical relationships with a girl. So hiding your identification, your name, your religion, etc., which very often happens on this, has been made a crime, and that's a great step, and they must have had certain feedback that they needed to do it. And thirdly, this love jihad is not a new term. It has been used in Kerala by Christian community. It has come in certain high court judgments. So let us not be myopic, let us not close our eyes, let us face the fact and punish with the full extent of law anybody found conducting and being a part of the gang. It's not only the gang doing it, it's the entire ecosystem and gang. All of them need to go to jail.
Mr. Abbas, you heard Ishkan Bhandari. He says love jihad exists. It's an organized attempt by members of a community to deceive and to conduct a particular kind of vile campaign. That's what he's saying, and we can't ignore it anymore. We can't allow people to say that if you call this out, you're Islamophobic and so on and so forth.
Firstly, Rahul Saab, I've been a practicing Muslim all my life. Nowhere in the mention of love jihad in its entirety. Those people or so-called Muslims who involved in something called love jihad, let me tell you, it is haram, forbidden. As per Islam, as per Quran, you cannot force anybody to accept a religion without their own will or intent. So the fact of the matter is, these accused that I see on your channel, these criminals must be punished under the highest order of Indian courts and justice. But blaming this as a love jihad existence in Islam is absolutely wrong.
Okay, it's wrong. Don't malign the community, says Mr. Abbas. Shubhrashtra, would you like to respond? And Congress leader Nikul Patel, I'll bring him in right after. Yes, Shubhrashtra.
Yes, Rahul, the problem is that we are not here to talk about the socio-political fabric of the nation in a secular or communal way. It's a problem that is being deeply discussed, but there is a willful silence, selective activism, and outright neglect of the menace that this issue has become. You may have a problem with the terminology love jihad. You can use an alternate terminology, call it coerced religious conversion, call it religious grooming, call it manipulative faith conversion, whatever you call it. The problem is that many women, especially from marginalized communities, are lured into relationships, and media has been covering it for quite some time now under false pretense. They are pressured to abandon their faith. They are coerced via all the messages that you discussed, obscene messages, etc., subjected to violence. Despite their resistance, they are forced to convert. Now, these are there are documented cases in Kerala, UP, MP, Karnataka, West Bengal. Why are we not able to deal with it? Now, the problem is that we may get into the legal framework of it. We may, discuss the problems of the central and the state government, different laws have on it. But the problem is that this is not just a fight for women's autonomy, as the secular cabal would want us to believe. It is basically about condemning mob violence too. if you're talking about a woman's agency and saying that, if she converts, it's her free will, then what about condemning mob violence, which also mobs, by the way, also restrict women's agency in more than one ways? And if the reports are to be believed, all these journalistic reports that have come out, there are instances of, I would call it mob violence only. Now, there is a march for justice for political convenience, but then you will be called out. Also, there is a problem today also because state governments are absolutely pathetic. The laws that you have, different states, are all serving one political agenda or the other. And the central government...
So let me ask that question. Let me ask that question to Mr. Patel. Let me ask him. That's an important question because from the UK example, Mr. Patel, it seems that this alleged grooming jihad or whatever you want to call it, I certainly don't want to subscribe to any adjectives, but since that's the word that is being used, is this alleged grooming jihad a long suppressed scandal that political parties of a certain ecosystem downplay for vote bank considerations? And I have to ask you this, look at what happened in Ajmer in 1992. A movie has now been made and we realized how the political establishment covered it up. And I don't want to go into who that political establishment is. I think those certain political parties who call themselves, unfailingly secular. So they don't want to upset a vote bank and they don't want to define this.
See, whenever incident like this is coming into light, I think there should be no discussion of politics. There should be no discussion of vote bank. And there is no perception of any government to protect anyone against the law, the crime, this kind of people.
No, but the BJP is saying, Mr. Patel, that stories such as this validate our claim, that is the BJP's claim, that it is the only guardian of Hindu interests in the country. Left to any other political party, no one cares. Even the left has been telling the India bloc that look what is happening in Kerala with Christian girls. But no one wants to pay heed.
Bharatiya Janata Party, if you see, always try to say this thing and they want to do a vote bank politics.
No, but what about the left? The left is not wanting to do vote bank politics. Christian left leaders and Christian faith leaders in Kerala are coming and talking about quote-unquote love jihad. Ishkaran Bhandari's pointed it out. So obviously this exists. If the Congress party is chary or wary about calling it out for what it is, I'm not saying you label it. I'm not saying you call it what it is that people commonly describe it as. I don't like epithets like this, but call it out for what it is. This is a motivated interest group amongst certain religious minorities to do this. If you called it out, maybe it would help.
In the society, every community has this kind of mindset, people who are very, we can say that criminal sort of thing, and that has to be removed from the society.
Okay, don't generalize. Don't generalize, says Mr. Patel. There are always exceptions, rotten apples in every society. Very quick, Ishkaran Bhandari, since you raised your hand, I'm wrapping out after that. Yes.
Yes. Rahul, the need for identification is there because a social evil or a crime only can be sorted once it's identified. Of course, you cannot blame entire communities because criminal law, there is no vicarious liability, but it does not appear to be individual action. There seems to be some sort of an organization behind it, and that's what needs to be investigated and that's what needs to be punished.
Well, viewers, it's the tip of the iceberg. How much of it submerged under the murky waters of political correctness, we don't know, viewers. This is very worrying. This is a very worrying story, and we're going to, of course, follow through up on this, viewers. We leave it at this. Palki Sharma with The Vantage coming up.